Alright, so in this video I'm going to be walking through a Salesforce Commerce plus data plus AI use case, and in particular product review summaries. So product review summaries use AI to extract and highlight key points from customer reviews. If you're an Amazon user, you'll probably be familiar with the customers say section on an Amazon product page. That's a good example of product review summaries. And their value is to enhance the shopping experience by providing clear and concise product insights. Within Salesforce, this is an example of where you might manifest product review summaries. So I'm on the product admin page of a B2B, in this case, commerce site, and you'll see a custom field called product review summary, and you'll see it populated there. I've also added that field to the product page within the storefront itself. So this is how you might use this information to present to the customer. Before I walk through how it's built, a couple of notes. The first is, since Salesforce Commerce does not have a review capability, all customers that have reviews use an external platform. And the assumption here is that the review platform that's selected by the customer has the capability to export a review feed file, in this case to Amazon S3. Second note is that although I use Data Cloud in this scenario, it's not strictly required. You could import reviews directly into custom fields, custom objects within CRM and work from there, but I wanted to showcase how easy it is to import data using Data Cloud. Third note is that error handling, scaling, everything that make this kind of production hardened is not included here. This implemented just the basic flows. The products you'll need for this scenario are B2B/D2C commerce, so Commerce on Core, Data Cloud, and Agentforce. So the approach, like I said, external review platform that exports a product review feed file to Amazon S3. We use Data Cloud to import that file into Data Cloud, and then we have a prompt template together with a flow that will pull that information from the DMO and create the review summaries. This is the build plan. There's two parts to it. First is to import the reviews, and the second is to generate and store the review summaries. So the first step is to get that review feed from the review platform to Amazon S3. So it's a fairly simple process to create an Amazon S3 account. If you don't already have one, you create a bucket and then you create a folder with your CSV file in it. To simulate the review file, I grabbed a sample from a third-party review platform and I exported the product catalog from my Salesforce B2B store, and I fed those two things into ChatGPT and asked it to create a sample review file. And as you see here, these are all my products within my storefront, and each product has 6 reviews in this file. So I deploy that to Amazon S3 under sample review feed.csv, and now I can go ahead and import that into Data Cloud. So the benefit of using Data Cloud is that there's a pre-built Amazon S3 connector, super simple to use. All you do is you select a new data stream and then you choose Amazon S3 as being your source, and then you enter the specific details around your credentials and the folder and so on, and all the rest is automatic. Super quick to import that file into a Data Cloud data stream. So that's item 1 and 2 completed here. So the last item to complete the import is to map that data stream to data model object. That is the object that you'll be using within CRM and other places to access this data. So this is my DMO. In this case, because there's no harmonization or calculated insights or really anything sophisticated related to this import, it's a straight mapping from the CSV to the data stream to the DMO. It's all a one-for-one mapping. It's a very straightforward process to create this data model object, and I'll show you the actual records that you'll get once it's completed. So there are 67 reviews in the CSV file, and as you can see, I'm using the Data Explorer and showing the records within my DMO. You'll see 67 records here, and all of the product ID, rating, review ID, review text, all of this has come through correctly into my DMO. So that completes the review import piece of the workflow. The next step is to generate and store the review summaries. So if we go back to the diagram here, one thing that's really important when you're working with Agentforce and prompt templates and so on is work from the inside out, because as you're embedding different elements, pieces of functionality within each other, they kind of sense what the inputs and outputs are. So if you build them in the wrong order, sometimes you have difficulty connecting them up. So in my case, I'm going to build the flow first, and then I'll build the prompt template and embed the flow within that prompt template. So the idea of the flow is that I'm going to Data Cloud, I'm given a product ID that I'm interested in. So which product am I creating the review summary for? I'm getting that ID, and then I'm going to Data Cloud, and based on that ID, I'm asking Data Cloud to give me back all of the reviews associated with that product ID. So within the flow, there's a get record action. It's very simple. My data source is a Data Cloud object. I'm referencing specifically my sample review feed object, and then my filter is product ID. So based on the input that I give this flow, matching that to the product ID in the DMO, and it will return back just the reviews associated with that product ID. Once I have those, I have a loop here, and for each of the records, I'm adding the review text to the prompt output. So that's the flow complete. The next thing, I need to build the prompt template around it, which will actually do the review summaries. So I'm in prompt builder now, and the prompt template here, there's really two aspects to it. The first is the prompt is asking specifically what I want the LLM to do, and the second part is the embedded flow. And what that will do is once the prompt template is executed, it will run that flow, and that flow, the link you see here, will be replaced by the actual output of that flow. So what I'm saying is who the persona is for the LLM and what the objective is, in this case to write a 1 to 2 line summary for the product, and the following are the customer reviews. So the flow will run, it will gather those reviews from Data Cloud and insert them at this point into the prompt. And as you can see in the resolution section here, this is a kind of fully grounded, fully manifested prompt, and you'll show the reviews that come back from Data Cloud embedded there. And based on passing all of that information to the LLM, it'll come back with the response. So that's the portion of creating the review summary. Now I need to actually store this somewhere. And what I'm doing here is creating a custom field within the product object, because I want this review summary to sit on the product object. So if I go to setup and then object manager and pick the product object, I'm going to go to fields and relationships and add my new field. I have one here already, but what I've chosen is long text area, and I've given it 500 characters space. So that should be enough to store that 1 to 2 sentence summary. Now if I go back to the product admin page here, this is the custom field that I created. And the last step in the process to connect my prompt template with this custom field is to associate it within the edit page. So if I go to edit page, you have the ability to associate a particular field with an Einstein generation. So I've selected my custom field that I created, product review summary, and then there's an Einstein generative AI section where you can specify your prompt template. So the prompt template I just completed there, I've specified it here. So I'm now click Save. And now when I come to the product page and I edit the information within that product page, I'll have the Einstein kind of AI button here, the action button here. And what that will do is that will trigger the execution of that prompt template. So you'll see on the right hand side here, the AI has generated that product summary for me, so I can use that and then save it. So that really completes the process of importing reviews from an external platform into Data Cloud, and then using Flow and Prompt Template to pull the relevant reviews for a product ID and generate a summary for it, and then storing that information in a custom field and enabling field generation for the summaries. As you can imagine, it's probably not a usable method to manually update the review summaries in the way that I just demonstrated. So probably what you should do is figure out either a scheduled or event triggered flow that will do this for you as a batch. You can use scheduled flows to do it once a day, once a week, whatever makes sense for the volume of reviews that you get. Or you can do an event trigger flow, and I have an example of that here. So this is a flow that would wrap around the prompt that you've already built and basically say, when a new record is created on my sample review demo, then start this flow. And the flow simply just executes the prompt template for the ID of the new record that's been added. So this is an automated process. This might be overkill for most use cases. I don't think review summaries wouldn't need to be created all that often, perhaps once a week or once a month, but this is another way of doing it. So that's the full workflow. I think this is a good example of a use case that is good for folks starting out. It touches on quite a few of the elements of AI in Salesforce. So you get to use Data Cloud, flows, prompt templates, etc., custom fields. It's good for that purposes. I think the business value is sort of low to moderate. It's great for kind of marketplaces like Amazon, where there's a huge amount of products, and review summaries are a great way to sort of get a perspective on a product. Probably less so for individual brands with less products and more concern over telegraphing reviews. But I think it's a good use case to get started with. I think probably a more interesting use case is to integrate product review summaries into an agent, give it a tool that provides review summaries so that it can incorporate review summaries within product recommendations. And I might work on that in a follow-up video.